Okay, take a second and just look around you. We are currently living through the fastest, most disruptive technological shift in human history. I mean, think about it. It took electricity decades to transform global industry. It took the internet a whole generation to really change how we communicate. But artificial intelligence? It's rewriting the rules of society, work, and creativity in real time, practically overnight. It is absolutely wild to witness.
So here is our visual roadmap for this explainer. We're going to be covering 1. The cognitive revolution. 2. Demystifying AI. 3. The brain of the machine. 4. The tool ecosystem. 5. God-tier prompting. And finally, 6. The ethical frontier. All right, let's dive into section 1. Demystifying AI. What actually is it?
You know, what is AI, really? Simply put, artificial intelligence is the broad science of making machines mimic human cognitive functions. We're talking about learning, reasoning, and problem-solving. Think of AI as this massive umbrella universe where computers are just designed to behave smartly. It's basically the giant container for everything else we're about to discuss today.
A great way to think of this is like one of those Russian nesting dolls. Inside that massive AI universe is machine learning. Here, instead of writing hard-coded rules for a computer, telling it, if X happens, do Y, we just feed the computer millions of examples and let it figure out the rules for itself. Then, sitting deep inside machine learning is deep learning, which uses these layered math structures called neural networks to mimic how human brains function. And right at the absolute center, generative AI. These are the systems that don't just categorize stuff, but actually create entirely fresh, new content, whether that's text, images, or even music.
Now, there's a super important distinction we've got to make here. Every single AI tool you use today, that is narrow AI. It's incredibly good, highly specialized at one specific task, like, say, translating a document or generating an image, but it doesn't actually understand the world. On the flip side, AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence, is the future holy grail. That's an AI capable of performing literally any intellectual task a human can. We aren't quite there yet, but believe me, we are racing toward it incredibly fast.
Moving right along to section 2, the brain of the machine, how AI thinks.
Let's ground ourselves in reality for a second here. AI, it's pure math. It relies entirely on matrices, mathematical weights, and probability. When you type a prompt into an AI today, it isn't searching through some massive database of pre-written answers. No way. It is fundamentally just an advanced pattern recognition engine. It's calculating, literally, word by word, the most mathematically probable next word based on all those intricate patterns it picked up during its training.
So how does it actually learn those patterns? It uses a step-by-step process called backpropagation. Let's say we're teaching our neural network to identify a cat. Step 1, we feed it massive amounts of labeled data. Step 2, the network guesses completely at random. Step 3, every time it guesses wrong, the algorithm calculates the error, like exactly how far off that guess was. And step 4, it sends the signal backward through the network to adjust the mathematical weights. This effectively strengthens or weakens the connections between its artificial neurons, so it's a little more accurate next time.
To kind of anchor all that complex math to the physical world, think of it like tuning a guitar. But imagine a guitar with millions of strings. You pluck a string, you hear the air because it sounds terrible. So you twist the peg just a tiny fraction to adjust it, and you repeat. A neural network adjusts its mathematical weights exactly like this, millions and millions of times, until the melody, or in this case, its pattern recognition, is absolutely perfect.
Okay, on to section 3, the AI tool ecosystem, deep dive.
Let's break the current ecosystem down into 3 major pillars. First up, cognitive engines. Basically your large language models. Think ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. These are your intellectual partners for text and data analysis. You can upload raw data and they'll write code to clean it and plot it in seconds. Second, we have creative diffusion. This includes tools like Midjourney, Sora, and Stable Diffusion. They literally sculpt art by starting with pure digital noise and step-by-step subtracting that noise until pristine media emerges. It's like magic. And third, agentic systems, like Devin. These go way beyond chat. They autonomously plan, search, execute tasks, And get this, they even correct their own errors.
All right, Section 4, Masterclass in God-Tier Prompt Engineering.
Look, the absolute biggest mistake people make is treating AI like a standard Google search. You just can't do that. You have to realize that AI is basically an incredibly smart, eager intern, but one with absolutely zero context about your life, your business, or your goals. To get the best out of it, you must give it a highly specific frame. You have to literally force the AI into the exact mathematical space of its professional training data.
And here is the exact 5-part formula to do just that. This is how you transform generic corporate fluff into world-class output. Its role, context, constraints, examples, and task. You're defining who the AI should act as, the situation at hand, the strict rules it has to follow, a reference for what success looks like, and finally, the very specific action it needs to take. You can instantly see the difference in value here, right? A bad prompt is super vague. Write an email about marketing. The AI has to guess what on earth you mean, but a God-tier prompt applies our formula. Act as a senior retention marketer, write a 150-word re-engagement email with no generic fluff. Here is an example. By layering on those specific constraints, you guarantee an exponentially better, highly professional result every single time.
Wrapping up with Section 5, the ethical frontier, bias, alignment, and your future.
Now, we really have to face some massive ethical challenges. First is inherited historical data bias. AI models learn from human history, which means they learn from our flaws, and they can absolutely replicate and scale historical prejudices. Because of this, AI alignment, which is the science of ensuring these systems behave in accordance with human values, is quite literally one of the most vital fields of study today. We're also grappling with deepfakes manipulating truth and mathematical hallucinations, where models confidently make up false facts, just because those facts sounded mathematically plausible.
And beyond the tech flaws, there is very real anxiety out there about job displacement. But I want you to reflect on this super empowering truth. AI will not replace humans. Humans using AI will replace humans. The future belongs to the augmented human. The whole point of understanding these systems is to ensure that you are the one steering the technology, rather than just letting it wash over you.
Which leads us perfectly to your homework. Yeah, I'm challenging you with a specific assignment today. Pick just one tool. Practice for 15 minutes a day. Build a custom workflow for yourself. Don't just sit there and absorb this explainer passively. Put these concepts into immediate practice, because taking action is what truly drives learning.
So we've covered the science, the tools, the prompts, and the ethics. But the real question is, now that you have the keys to the most powerful cognitive engine in human history, what are you going to build with it today? Thank you so much for joining me to demystify the cognitive revolution. To keep supporting this journey and empowering yourself with knowledge, please like, share, and subscribe AI Excellence. Learn, explore, innovate.